All right, why don't you just give me your names and why you guys felt it was so necessary to do this presentation down here today?
Well, my name is Camilla. My name is Carolina.
All right.
And the reason why we're doing this presentation is to change the stereotypes people have of immigrants, and also to show that undocumented students are American, except for a piece of paper or 9-digit number, the social security number, that we've basically grown up here in America. We've, this is our culture basically, and we just don't have a paper that reflects the fact that we're American. We're American ever since the war, and we're here to advocate about the DREAM Act.
All right.
And I guess, like you said, we want to show people that undocumented students are basically indistinguishable from the documented peers. We're the same, and we can be anyone. There is no stereotype behind an undocumented immigrant. We can be of all races or colors, come from everywhere.
No, absolutely, and I feel I'm a strong advocate for the rights of immigrants, and I feel that the DREAM Act is very important. So if you can just give me one reason why you feel the DREAM Act is important, what would it be?
I would give an economic reason because, money has already been invested by the taxpayers into the undocumented students because they've been here to, sometimes elementary school, but usually middle school and high school. And so we already invested in the students, and it makes sense to give them a chance to, take citizenship and be able to work legally in the country and give back to the communities.
All right.
It's a return on investment. My reason would be that the students grew up here and that they can't go back to the country. Many times they don't remember, they can't even speak the language correctly. So this is where they belong and this is where they should stay.
Yeah, and I feel that for children of undocumented immigrants who spend basically their entire lives here, who don't know any other place but this country, and that this country has spent so much money in educating them. For instance, in the city of Danbury, we spend approximately $10,000 to $11,000 per year per student, and I think it's a worthwhile investment to give them the in-state tuition because, especially in public in-state schools, people who go to public schools in the state of Connecticut usually stay here. So it's a win-win. So why do you think there's so much resistance towards this act? Is it because of the xenophobia in this area, the anti-immigrant sentiment? Do people feel that this is an amnesty? Why do you think it's such a resistance to something that makes common sense?
Well, I think politicians really are afraid to get involved in this issue because anything that gives rights to illegal immigrants, they're afraid that the voting base is going to accuse them of providing amnesty, which in this area is a really bad word to throw around. Amnesty is like something you don't want to be associated with. So I think politicians maybe know that this makes sense, either because it's fair or because of economic reasons, but they're afraid to get caught up in it because they're afraid of what it'll become.
Okay.
I think that there's a lot of misconceptions about the DREAM Act. Like a lot of people think that anybody can just come and apply for a DREAM Act and become legal, but it's not that easy, and a lot of people don't realize that it's more difficult to get benefits from it than most people realize.
Right. So look, if people want more information or support your cause and couldn't make it down here today, how can they get in contact with you or your organization?
Well, there's a lot of ways to get in contact with us.
Okay.
We have a Facebook page called Connecticut DREAM Act, and if you want to get involved, we have an email list that will send out updates and events that we're starting to organize. So you want to give out the address?
Yeah, sure.
What is it? It's ct.dream.coalition@gmail.com.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'll make sure that information gets out there, and thank you very much for what you're doing. As somebody who's been a long-time immigrant rights supporter in Danbury, I'm glad to see students standing up and fighting for the good cause. So thanks again.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.